Welcome to California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined today by Gloria Negrete-McLeod. She is a member of the United States Congress. She is now a nominee for a seat on the Board of Supervisors in San Bernardino County. It is October, and we are commemorating, I guess you could say, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. As you know, Congresswoman, there's a lot of noise about domestic violence as a result of what's happening with the National Football League. And it's stunning and shocking and depressing. But, you know, maybe there's a silver lining. What do you think?
Well,
the attention that's being paid to it.
I think the more aware of it, the more likely are people to report it. Mm-hmm. You know, this is kind of like something that sits in the shadows if a woman is abused. And if a man is abused, then he's never even going to come out because it's embarrassing.
Right.
But even women think often that it's that it's them that caused this, or they take the blame. So Women Awareness Month is domestic violence. The funds for that go to law enforcement to train them.
And let's talk about this, because after a lot of hard work, I know many of your colleagues were trying to ensure the reauthorization of what's known as the Violence Against Women Act. Ultimately, after a few years of contention, the act was reauthorized. Tell us about that.
Yeah, earlier this year it came before the House and it was reauthorized. And again, those funds that it provides for law enforcement, it provides for prosecutors and other things to work on this issue.
But let's talk more broadly about it, because I feel as if through the NFL scandal that a lot of, I don't know, excuses have been made that, oh, it's part of the community, it's part of the ethos, you know, and I just thought we were kind of past that. That we were past that.
Well, we think we're past everything, and then something comes up, and we find we're still baby stepping across the way.
Right.
And so I don't know, the fact that the man hit his then girlfriend and knocked her out on the floor, and everybody said, well, that's okay. That's atrocious. That you even resort to that kind of behavior.
And I want to talk about both the perpetrator and the victim, because I do feel as if, you know, in 2014, there are a lot of services offered to victims, as there should be. And some may say that I have a soft spot where I shouldn't, but the perpetrator also needs help.
Absolutely.
There's no question. And I just wonder if we've ramped up enough to kind of re-educate
Well, I
the
think
perpetrator.
we give a mixed message. This gentleman hit his then girlfriend and knocked her straight out onto the floor, and yet then she turned right around and married him. So I guess people are saying, so what's the big deal?
Right. She said, what's the big deal?
Oh, I didn't know she said that.
Yeah, I mean, in effect, she has come to the aid of her spouse. But that really does kind of beg the question, what can we do as a society, either through the Violence Against Women Act or whatever it may be, so that both victim and perpetrator kind of receive what they need?
I think men, as fathers, should not do that kind of behavior so that their children don't follow them. And we as mothers should ensure that men and women, little girls and little boys, do not carry on that behavior and don't consider them a victim. If that happens, then you get out of the situation.
I understand kind of the next frontier on the question of domestic violence is domestic violence committed by same-sex couples, which presents a whole host of other challenges.
Well, I don't think they're any different than other couples.
True, of course, but you know, you talk about being afraid to come forward. Will the gay man come forward? Will the lesbian woman come forward? Because there's so many stigmas attached on just so many different levels.
Well, I think we'll have to see what the trend is on that. But if someone is an abused person, then they should come forward, try to seek help, and leave that relationship.
Right.
Me personally, I can't understand how somebody stays in a relationship like that. But I am not put in that situation, and I don't have that.
It's so deep-seated, and should you be successful in your election to the Board of Supervisors, these are issues that will face the county.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are really kind of quintessential county issues.
Especially if there's funds coming from the federal government that will go to law enforcement.
Right, and they flow through the counties. And so I know you're not there yet, but do you have a sense as to whether the county, San Bernardino, Riverside, LA, whatever it may be, are getting a handle on this? Is attention now being focused because what happened with the NFL?
You know, I haven't heard anything, but oftentimes smaller counties outside of the big urban areas are a little slower, but I don't know. I'm not going to make any judgment or cast aspersions.
And what's interesting is San Bernardino, it seems like, is kind of in the middle. It's sort of outside the urban area, but to some it's a bit. 2 million people. That's a big county.
We were putting in Google on our directions today, and my staff member says, "How come it says LA Metropolitan District?"
Oh, right.
Even the directions in this area. So I guess they get some kind of a circumference and go anything 75 miles out of LA.
Well, think about this. I digress for a second. Riverside County, San Bernardino County, over 4 million people. Bill Clinton, before he was president, was governor of a state, Arkansas, with about 3.5 million people. So, I mean, that shows you how large, just this region is. He catapulted from Arkansas with 3.5 million people and, San Bernardino and Riverside County. Do you know that if LA County were a state, it would be larger than Michigan in population?
Well, if we were to separate from the rest of the United States, we'd be the 9th largest economy.
So there you have it. We digress. Let's talk about the beautiful nation that in which we are citizens, and how we have so many men and women that are honoring all Americans by serving in the armed forces.
Well, one of the functions that a congressperson does is that they're able to nominate people to the different academies.
Right.
Military academies across, they're mostly on the East Coast.
And I know that you love that.
Yes.
I know that has been a highlight for you.
Yeah, and so we did it 2 times last year. We actually had 3, but 2 times we did it well, where we opened it up and everybody, all young people, and there's certain criteria that they must do before they can even be accepted as a nominee. And so you open it up and you have everybody come. And there are people that the first time we did it came from Palmdale.
Wow.
And we had people that came from the desert because not a whole lot of these are done. And so
fairs, you've had these fairs.
Yes, well they're called Academy Nights.
Okay.
They're called Academy Nights.
So talk to me about the students that come, because look, I'll be honest with you. I graduated from high school in the mid '80s, and we were still under the haze.
Such a baby.
I know, but we were still under the haze of Vietnam, so it was not cool to go to a military academy.
Oh, now
it's cool.
But not only that, but there are so many benefits
Right.
if someone gets accepted to an academy.
Right.
Their education is paid for 4 years.
Well, on top of it, I mean, these academies are considered some of the best colleges in the country.
Absolutely. They have a very high curriculum. They're rated very highly, as you say.
Right.
And so these youngsters are interested in joining the military, whether it's the Army, the Marines,
Right.
the Coast Guard,
Right.
the Merchant Marines,
Right.
the Navy,
Right.
and the Air Force.
Right. And so, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 years in college, and then there's a 4-year commitment?
Yes, to serve. And I guess if they go in doctors, they have to, work in an underserved or in the military.
I see.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the men and women who came, or the young men and women
people
that came. I want to hear about them.
Actually, the parents are the ones that are really jazzed.
Right.
And so the young people come and they know that there has to be a really strong commitment.
Right.
They have to finish all of their education and then
Right.
do that. And so they come and they're very interested in it. We have speakers. And we have videos that go on that tells you the different academies, and it's
Right.
kind of a really nice video.
So how do you decide
How do we
who
decide?
to recommend?
We actually have a panel
You
that
do.
comes on, people that have been in the military, that have been doing this, and they sit as a panel. Then they shoot it to me. And fortunately for me, I get to nominate up to 10 people.
Really?
Yeah.
And last year you said
and
you
last
nominated...
year we had 2 people. One
You
went-
nominated 2 or 3?
Well, we nominated a whole bunch, but 2 got accepted to the Air Force Academy and to the, what did she get? The Naval.
Very competitive.
Yes, very competitive.
So I guess 20% acceptance. I mean, this is not easy to do.
No, but it's hard, and so the kids are all jazzed.
I love
The
it.
young people are all
Of
jazzed.
course.
not
Her
kids.
name is Gloria Negrete-McLeod, member of the U.S. Congress. She's a nominee for a Board of Supervisors seat in San Bernardino County. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's California Edition.